As I got a little bit of time on my hands, I am gonna start working on the loft ladder and railing. Locally, it is next to impossible to find good quality Western red cedar. It's usually all junk. It's warped. It's like just awful grade. It's not good. So I found some rough cut, which is okay. I'm gonna mill it down with my little tiny table saw over here, and I'm gonna make it work. So here we go. All right, guys, as you can see, rough cut is rough. It's got some texture to it, and my job is going to be to try to get as much of that texture out. Here we go. I've determined that the overall width of the ladder needs to be 22.5 due to the opening that we currently have. So because there's a variance of this is not exactly 1.5 inches, it's a little bit wider. I have figured that 19 3/8 inches are what I need to cut each rung to fit in between the uprights. That way it nestles in between the alcove. Once I cut these, then I've got to go in, set the uprights to find the level for the bottom so it sits nicely on the floor. This is going to be pretty much an upright ladder. It will have a little bit of an angle to it, but for the most part it is going to be an upright ladder. Let's get started. Okay, now that I've cut the first rung to the proper width, I went inside, I checked it, make sure it's perfect. It's going to fit in exactly the way we want it. So what I've done is I've set up a stop. So now I can very quickly run these boards. They'll all be the same length, and then we can start the assembly. All right, so right now what I need to do is I need to find the level. This is not sitting flush on the floor. I need to make sure I cut this bottom so it sits level. I'm going to end up putting a rubber pad underneath it just to give me that little bit of resilience against the hardwood. It's actually going to sit a lot closer, so once the ladder's built, I'll have to notch this baseboard so it sits in there nice and clean, but I can't do that until the ladder's built. In the meantime, we're going to find level, and I need to cut as little off of this 2x4 as possible, so I'm going to add that little scrap piece of cedar there, and then we'll be able to find level with this little torpedo level. So one of the things that I'm going to do a little different than what you'll see on a lot of people on YouTube about making ladders. A lot of them will notch out the vertical for the rungs to slide into. I don't have a dado blade, limited to what woodworking tools I do have. I could do it by hand, call me lazy, whatever. I'm not going to do it that way. I've done it before this way. It has been very successful. I don't have any problems with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a headlock. In this case, I'm going to use a 2 7/8 inch headlock, and that is basically a broad head. I'm going to open this box so you can better see what they look like. It's a broadhead lag screw that will go in. There'll be 2 that go in on the left and 2 that go in on the right of each one of those. Now, sometimes when you run that rung horizontal like that, you have to worry about tear through. And what I mean by that is when you step on the tread, you've got about 3/4 of an inch of wood that you don't want to split, because it will break the rung out. If you turn it vertically, if you turn it this way, you have a little bit more wood. So I want them turned horizontally the way they are currently. So what I'm doing is I'm adding rafter clips, and this is, I don't know who makes this one. This is, I think, a Home Depot brand. I'm not exactly sure, but it's rafter clips, and I will be mounting these on the bottom of each one of the rungs. Okay, not only is it a nice decorative look, but it's going to add a vertical support to it that will aid so there isn't any of that wood tear out that can occur when you step on it and you put pressure on it. So the first thing you're going to see me do is I'm going to pre-drill, and then I'm going to start setting these headlock bolts in, and then I'll follow up with rafter clips. Here we go. Looks good. All right, let's see if it fits. I'm a little nervous because it's a pretty precise cut. Fingers crossed. Come on. Woo! Perfect. Perfect fit. This is gonna be awesome. All right, so it's secured in there, but there's something I really don't like. That top step, you can't get your hands behind it. Janet had mentioned to me, you might need to cut out a little notch so your hands can get behind there. I think she's right. When I was climbing up, I put my hands in there. Doesn't feel comfortable. I gotta pull the whole thing out, and I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna cut a groove in that top. So right up in here, I'm gonna cut the groove. I might do it on this one's okay on the bottom. I might still go ahead and do it on both of them. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm gonna knock that out real quick. Okay guys, I cut some notches in the upper and the second from the top. I cut those in just for some relief for your hand. I've got it mounted. As you can see, I haven't finished the upper part of it. I'm gonna put a couple cedar blocks in there for spacers. I've got to put a railing up here. It's gonna be about 18 inches tall. We've only got about maybe 40 inches right here. There'll be a black powder coated hog wire that runs here. But right now I'm building the cedar uprights. I'm gonna get that corner over there first. And then we'll start building. Very simple railing. We may have to put a center support in. Not quite sure yet. I'm gonna wait until I get the hog wire cut and installed. I really don't want to have to put it, but if I have to, I will. But anyway, let's knock it out. Guys, it's time to repeat the other side, and then I'll get the hog wire and get it put in place. Let me get out of the way so you can see what we did here. We got a single rail, goes all the way across, and then you got your upright hog wire panel will go across here. I think it's pretty secure. I'm gonna do the other one, and then we'll get the hog wire panel up. The other day we got the railing up for the loft. We got the ladder up. I did not film it, but I put some handholds up, which you'll see in a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is cut this 3 by 8 foot piece of hog wire. It's hard to see, but it's black powder coated. Let me show you what that is. And anyway, we're going to cut it to the right size, which I think is going to be 16 inches. It's going to be basically 4 squares. We're going to lose a center square because there's 9 squares there. Anyway, do the math, you'll find out. Anyway, I got to make 2 passes all the way down. Then it will be ready to install up in the loft. We got those 2 pieces cut. Time to go in and install them. Okay guys, well, the other day you saw me cut this down. The last step to finishing up the handrails here to make sure nobody falls off is to attach the hog rail. So I'm gonna get started on that right now. Okay guys, I finished the second one. You saw me put up the first one. What I'm using are these fast and tight fence double barb staples, 1.5 inches. It's what I've used on the outside. It's just meant to staple this hog wire panel up to the post. So let's go check it out from downstairs. All right, there is the finished product. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, well that's one more project that's behind me. We got a lot more to go, a lot more little things coming, so we'll see you again soon.